you, Dr. Knoll. At this time, I'd like to introduce the FHS Student Commencement Speaker, Dakota Andersen.
Sorry, Dr. Knoll, I'm a little taller than you. Here we go. Wow, it's crazy to think that here we are today, graduating, yet 5 years ago I still went by the nickname of Gibby. First of all, I'd like to clear up one order of business before I start. Mrs. Lisa Myers, if you are in the crowd, please stand up. Mrs. Myers, FHS math teacher? Anyone? No? Okay, anyway. I just wanted you all to have a face to a name while I'm telling this story, but I'll go ahead and tell it anyway. So, freshman year, second semester, I started writing music, and I really didn't have any idea of what I was doing. But with the gracious help of the FHS music department, I became a little less confused on what I was doing. So I gave this song that I had written to Mr. Ryder, and he said, "Oh, you know, this is pretty great, but there's still a few things to work on." But so I gave it to him, and we worked on it for about a month or so, and he gave me notes and critiques, all that kind of stuff, and I did with them what I wanted to make it, you know, how I wanted the piece to go. And he said, "Do you want this performed?" And I said, "Sure." So we performed it at a large group in spring concert and stuff, and the school day after spring concert, I walk into 6-hour geometry with Mrs. Myers, and she says, "Dakota, first of all, I mean, just wow, I heard that you had written a song, and that was fantastic." And I said, "Thank you." And she said, "Not done. Second thing. I expect before you graduate to have a song written for me." And I said, "Okay, Miss Myers." And so every time I'd walk in the hall and I'd see her, I'd make eye contact with her. She said, "How's that song coming along, Dakota?" I'd say, It's coming, Miss Myers." So, Mrs. Myers, I know that you're not here, but the song that Vox just sang, the part that I had arranged, which was the Friends theme song, the first one, that was for you. That was your song. She probably thought that I was kidding, but I keep my promises. So, switching gears here. Imagine this. 16-year-old me, sitting on the couch, watching Netflix. How I Met Your Mother, to be exact. It was my favorite show at the time. And, you know, I was sitting there, and I thought that I was going to get a few episodes in, have a couple laughs, because, you know, How I Met Your Mother's a comedy. Except when it's not. So, in this particular episode that I was watching, Ted, the main character, is sitting at a bus stop. It's nighttime, completely dark, except for like a few lights, and no one else is there until a man sits next to him on this bench. And Ted is a little uncomfortable, so he takes a quick glance, and he realizes that he knows this guy from somewhere. And he makes a connection that this is one of his ex-girlfriend's current fiancé, Klaus, whom she had met in Germany. So, Ted asks Klaus, "Hey, aren't you Victoria's fiancé? Shouldn't you guys be getting married, like, today?" And Klaus says, with a German accent, which I can't do, so just use your imagination here. Anyway, Klaus says, "Yes, we were supposed to, but I didn't go through with it." Ted asks why, and Klaus sits there for a while, thinking about how to answer this difficult question. And he finally says this. "There is a word in German, Lebenslanger Schicksalsschatz, and the closest translation is lifelong treasure of destiny. And Victoria is wunderbar, she is wonderful, but she is not my Lebenslanger Schicksalsschatz. She is my Beinachleidenschaftsgegenstand, you know?" And Ted does not know. So Klaus elaborates. "It means the thing that is almost the thing that you want, but it is not quite. Lebenslanger Schicksalsschatz, your lifelong treasure of destiny, is not something that develops over time. It's something that happens instantaneously. It causes swirling, like the water of a river after a storm, filling you and emptying you all at once. You feel it throughout your body, in your hands, in your heart, in your stomach, in your skin. Have you ever felt this way about someone or something? Ted says, yeah, I think so. To which Klaus replies, if you have to think about it, you've not felt it. Everyone does eventually. You just never know when or where. So there I sat on the couch watching Netflix, questioning my existence. Now, many of you probably here know that previous to this school year, I wanted to go into astronomy and study space and the stars and figure out how and why it works and does the things that it does. I may not have realized it at the time watching this episode, but in that moment, my subconscious had an epiphany. Astronomy is not my lifelong treasure of destiny. It's music. Of course it is. It's been there all along. Now, this is the part of the speech where I get a little cheesy, so just bear with me here. Class of 2016. These past 4 years have been quite rowdy McGowdy indeed. From doing burnouts in the parking lot, to Governor Branstad accidentally calling Mr. Select a sklot, from Friday Night Lights in the fall, to making some pretty dank and spicy memes. From maps testing, which don't get me started on that, and yes, to the one that you've all been waiting for, or at least Brennan, Shrek is love, Shrek is life. With all those experiences in mind, it's been an immense pleasure and honor to know every single one of you. It really has. Now, for some advice. If you've not yet found your lifelong treasure of destiny, don't worry, it's coming. In the words of Klaus, everyone feels it eventually. You just never know when or where. So that being said, whatever your Lebenslonger Schicksalsschatz is, and wherever and whenever it comes to you, hold on to it tightly, and never, ever let it go. Thank you.
Thank you, Dakota. At this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Brian Stone, FHS Associate Principal, as he will recognize academic accomplishments based on transcripts at the end of the first semester this year.